So when games initially first come out, people are always going to have tendencies to over-exaggerate or under-exaggerate features or just how good the game is overall. It's not really for about 2 or 3 weeks after you let the hype settle down a little bit that you can begin to see truly what the game has to offer. So when it comes to Dead Island 2, the questions we're trying to answer: is it overhyped? Is it worth it? And was it a successful sequel? Based on my last video on Dead Island 2, a lot of you fucking hate each other, and the other half of you in the comment section are just pure degenerates. But the main question we're answering: is this game actually shit, or is it worth it? Going on, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I'm Treyllo. Welcome back to a brand new video, guys. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe, otherwise I'll kill you. I'm joking, of course. But anyway, let's get into this video. So the first question we're answering: is this game overhyped? Dead Island 2 had huge expectations as a sequel. They have to make it better than the old game and appeal to the same audience while bringing new people in. Back in 2014, they dropped a fire trailer, only for the game to get delayed, for it to bounce around different development studios, and over those years, a lot of people forgot about Dead Island 2. But once we got the official announcement that the game was going to come out in 2023, pre-orders were available, people went fucking nuts. So when the game first came out 2 weeks ago, it was praised, but I think people were still expecting more. The 10 individual locations that you can go to make the game feel last gen. The game's not seamlessly open world, and that made it feel like a downgrade from the first one. You also have a very uncaptivating story. Don't get me wrong, the story's goofy and fun, but the game completely lost any type of seriousness. It's now way closer to Dead Rising or other goofy games that don't care. Dead Island 1's story wasn't amazing, but at least it felt kind of interesting because it was real shit going on. Now you're in LA and they're just completely goofing off with the story, and that's a choice, but that took away from the plot of the game. Not only that, but there are no memorable characters in the story. In Dead Island 1, the main cast, Sam B, Logan, we remember those guys because they were cool, their voice lines mattered. The operators you play as in Dead Island are just nowhere near on that level. They're all generic LA goers. So no. After waiting 13 years, this game did not live up to the hype that it was supposed to have. Is it worth it to buy? Okay, this is another huge question that most of you actually care about, because if you're actually going to drop money on the game, you got to know if it's good. Fuck no. In the current state of the game, it is not good. Remember, the average person is completing the campaign and the side quests within 13 to 14 hours. After that, you're probably not gonna hop on the game again. Like I've said in previous videos, that's just as long as the old games were. And if you buy the game for $60 right now, you're basically saying that I'm paying for the same standards that I did all those years ago. The skill system and the crafting system are really bland. In Dead Island 1, the looting system was better. More things that you could physically open and search, but the economy was more defined. The crafting bench was cool. Literally just the interface. While the skill system does add almost like powers to the game, it's still based on a card system, which just feels like a weaker way to do skills. On top of that, you have the new grenade system, which means if you craft a Molotov or a grenade or a flash grenade once, you have it forever and it's just on a cooldown. This isn't fucking Destiny. Dead Island used to still be somewhat of a survival game. You should have to find resources. They should be scarce. It just shouldn't be unlimited. Then you're probably thinking, why is everyone saying Dead Island 2 is so good? Why is everyone buying it? Because of that gore system, bro. It's a simple strategy when you're releasing a game to narrow all your focus on one part of it. And in this case, Dead Island 2 nailed the blood. They nailed the gore. The combat is good. Now, people might see this as enough of a reason to go ahead and buy it. But you have to understand that that is really the only next-gen feature in the game. Everything else is dated to some degree. The graphics and the gore are all they have going for it. That is what you're paying $60 for. Not the story, not the characters, not the music, not the maps, the gore. And if that's really what you want to do, bro, go crazy. But that's all they have to offer. So no, it is not worth it. Was Dead Island 2 successful? Now, this doesn't really matter to me. This doesn't really matter to you, but it does matter to the developers and the publisher, and it matters to how much support we're going to get for the game in the future. Dead Island 2 in the first 3 days of coming out sold 1 million copies. That's pretty fucking good, okay? I mean, that's not a ton of people, but that's pretty fucking good. Dead Island 2 is a AAA game and it's well known, but still it's somewhat niche in the zombie category. So in sales, the game did fine. But in keeping players around, I don't think so. I think even Dying Light 2 still had people on the game after it came out. This game does not have the end game content. Unless you're trying to complete every achievement, every single collectible. Besides that, there isn't a lot after the game's over. And that's why the length is so devastating. At least if the game was 20-25 hours on average, it would be still played for months after. Dead Island 2 is barely going to have a community when the DLCs come out. But what you can't do is just leave us with a shitty, short story. No open world. Charge us $60 and then say, fuck you. I'm not going to take that shit. And you shouldn't either. Successful for the company? Yes. Is it successful for the gaming community? That's up to you. But if you have any sense of basic economics. I'd recommend simply waiting to see what more comes out, and once the game has more bulk, once there's more patches and more content implemented, then it could be worth it. But right now, the only reason you'd play is just for the gore. This is my last video on Dead Island 2, probably forever. The game has been so anticipated for me, I needed to give it at least a couple videos. Let me know if you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. As always, I'm Treyllo, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.